because you were actually living in it, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes, because we
Mhm.
had just relocated to the state. So I was taking my time to locate another property for myself and for our family, right? For my family. So in the
Mhm.
meantime, instead of renting or living uncomfortable in a hotel, I decided to move in there because it was more spacious and it was a better place for my family. So I kept it for a year and a half and I just sold it back.
All right, guys, this is Kelly from Hills Deals and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course, and we got a real special guest today. We have my student, Miss Monica Elda Elijah. How are you doing, Monica?
I'm doing good, Kelly. How are you?
Great, great, great. So I'm so excited for you to get on here, Monica. Introduce yourself to everybody and pretty much explain how you got into the mobile home business.
Yes. Well, first of all, I'm very excited to be here and a little nervous because this is my first live call like this with you. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited because I got started in the mobile home business about 2.5 years ago. I was in Texas before. So just a couple of months before I moved to another state, I kind of started looking and doing a little bit of research in regards to the mobile home business. I was able to get into this program, but they were lacking some kind of like training, and guidance and things like that. And I kind of left that aside for a couple of months. I moved to another state, and as I was living literally in a motel or hotels for a while, I was doing some research again, and then you came up and to my messenger, and you just started asking me questions about, what are you doing right now? You asked me, are you into the mobile home business? And like there were great questions, right? And so I
Mhm.
kind of started chatting with you, and I was very intrigued with the way you came up to me and the way you asked me the questions. And long story short, I ended up coming into your program, and the rest is history. It's been fun to be part of your program.
Oh, I appreciate that, Monica. So, Monica, now tell everybody that I tell all of my students if y'all want to contact me, you contact me. You text me first. If I don't answer the text, then you could go ahead and call me. Have you ever had any issues contacting me since you've been in the course?
I have never had any issues, and that's what I appreciate about you, man. I feel like you have become my friend, and like I really care for you, and like that love, right? That French love. I just love you so much. You have been there for me. You be my guidance. You be my coach. You be my mentor. Your program is very easy to follow. You're very easy to get access to. Like it's just that one connection that you don't have with other coaches or other mentors. And so I think that makes you different than other programs, and it's just very different. So I really love that.
Thank you so much. And the feeling is the love is there for you too, Monica. I greatly appreciate that. So,
Well,
Monica, you actually let's talk about this deal that you had. You actually, matter of fact,
yeah,
you had contacted me because you were dealing with an investor. So let's talk
yes.
about that deal. Let's talk about what happened with that deal. Because that's been like an uphill
Well,
battle right there, huh?
yes. Well, what happened was that an investor from California had contacted me, right? He tried to get a hold of me a couple of times, and when we finally got together and we started talking and stuff, he wanted me to kind of look for properties for him, right?
Okay.
That he wanted to renovate and flip over and things like that, and resell the property. So I started doing that for him. But unfortunately, there was a lot of setbacks and things that happened that when I finally started getting some mobile homes for him, it didn't work out, right? So what I decided to do is like, okay, instead of me and my family living in a hotel, why don't I renovate the mobile home for myself and for my family, and then move in there and then sell it in the future date. So that's exactly what I did. I bought the mobile home from the mobile home park from the manager. I renovated it. I bought it for $8,000. I put about maybe about $1,000 of renovation, and then I just turned around and sold it for 15,000 to the same manager.
Wow.
Imagine that. It's so
Wow.
exciting for me because I didn't have to promote it. I didn't have to market it. I just turned around and I told the manager, you know what? It's time for me to sell. Are you interested in buying it back? Or if not, I can just start marketing. And he says, you know what? How much are you asking for it? And when I told them, they move along and they say, okay, we'll get it. We'll buy it back. So it
Wow.
was pretty exciting.
Wow. And so
Mm-hmm.
what about the lot
So,
rent, Monica? What about the lot rent? How much was
well,
that?
the land rent was very expensive. It was $325. And what was amazing is that of course it included the water and it included the there was one more, I forget, was something else, but it was pretty inexpensive, compared to when I was doing the research. There were other ones that were charging $600 the rent, 400, 500, and for me it was 325. That was very doable. So that
Okay.
was another plus. Hmm.
Okay. So Monica, was this like an older park or what was the park?
No,
As far as the star of the park, what was it?
well, it was like a four plus, like a four and a half, because I was literally just 2 minutes away from like a Starbucks, from restaurants, from colleges and things like that. So it was very close to down to that beautiful area. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really nice. And it had a beautiful view also. I mean, a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful view of the mountains. I mean, it's just a gorgeous place. It was very pretty. And the mobile home was a 1999 mobile home. So, and it had a 3 bedrooms, two baths. I mean, it was very spacious and very, very nice mobile home. So, and then of course, once I, got it for myself, I did a little bit of renovation and it looked just much better than what I had purchased it before.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I left it in a better, yeah.
Okay. So Monica, who did your rehab? Or is your husband handy or who was doing your rehab?
That's a funny story. You know why? Because what I wanted to do is there was other 3 or 4 other mobile homes that the manager wanted to sell to me, but they needed a lot of repairs, right? And I
Okay.
said, you know what? I just moved to the area. I don't know a lot of people, so I don't want to be struggling to find a contractor that could do that. Because as you already know, you have to have someone that knows how to repair a mobile home. Because it's not the same thing to repair a regular house than to repair a mobile home. So what I decided to do, I said, look, let me take one at a time. And then I said, if it needs like cosmetic work, I'll take it and I'll do it myself. So and then he said, to help you paint it and make it nicer, I can help you. So the manager helped me to kind of paint it from the inside, and I painted the kitchen, the cabinets and stuff. So I did that for myself. And then I put a little bit of like a nice back splash in the kitchen,
Okay.
and I made it nicer. So I kind of did it myself, but the manager also helped me out. And it was a very easy project to do. It didn't take maybe like a week or so to do.
Wow.
So
Wow. And
yeah,
but how long did you hold on to that mobile home though, Monica?
for a year and a half,
A year and a half. Because
for a
the
year
only
and a
reason
half.
why you kept it that long is because you were actually living in it, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes, because we
Mhm.
had just relocated to the state. So I was taking my time to locate another property for myself and for our family, right? For my family. So in the
Mhm.
meantime, instead of renting or living uncomfortable in a hotel, I decided to move in there because it was more spacious and it was a better place for my family. So I kept it for a year and a half and I just sold it back.
Wow. Wow. So that worked out for you and it worked out for the
Yep.
park and the park manager as well, right?
Yes, and now the manager wants me to continue. Like there's other 3 or 4 mobile homes in there, and he is asking me, "Hey, do you want to buy them?" And they're willing to sell it for like 2,000, because it needs repairs. Because what they want to do is they want to get the park to look better, nicer, and they want somebody to take over that mobile homes to repair them and then resell them or rent them or whatever. So I'm even thinking maybe if I repair them, they'll buy them from me and they're my sellers too.
Exactly. Wow.
You know?
So you don't have to do no marketing. Like you said with the first home that you lived in, you didn't even have to do any marketing. They already knew, like you said, the manager helped you. Wow,
Yes.
that's interesting. So, Monica, how did you go about finding that home initially?
Well, since I was new to the area, I started driving around because number one, I wanted to know the area, obviously, right, to get familiar with the places and things. So I drove for like a whole month. Like every day, I was driving, 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 and I found different mobile home parks. And I was looking at like what you said in the course, right? Do research, find out what the ratings are, and ask the neighbors about the neighborhood, what's going on here. So I kind of got familiar with the neighborhoods and the mobile home parks. And when I would see somebody walking, I would ask them, hey, how long have you been here? And they will tell me, how is the place so far? How is the rent lot? All those questions. And they would tell me. And then I would ask, by any chance, do you know anyone that is selling a mobile home right now? And I told them, I'm looking for one for me and my family. I'm new to the area and I just interested to know about the area. And they were just like talk, 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 talk about everything. So I got to know areas, different, of course, got to meet different people and different managers. And that's when I came across this mobile home and the other three that they are wanting me to buy from them, and many others, really.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so, you know what, Monica, a lot of people who are new to this business, they like have an issue with talking to the mobile home park manager. Had you had any problems? It seemed like y'all were buddies, especially towards the end.
No, you know what? As a matter of fact, I built a good relationship with this manager, and it turns out that the same property owners, they own three other mobile home parks. So they
Okay.
own three. And as talking to the manager, he told me, you know what, we are needing different mobile homes in different parks. So what they want to do is they're kind of talking to me about it, that if I could find more mobile homes for them, they will buy it from me, and then for them to put them in the mobile home. So it's really, really, really important to build that connection, that relationship with managers, because they want your help. They want for you to, your
Mm.
expertise. They want for you to find them on mobile homes, and they want for you to help them out. So it's a win-win for both.
Right. And so, Monica, where did you do
Mhm.
this deal at? What state? Because you moved from Texas to what state are you in right now?
Missouri. Missouri.
Missouri. Okay. And so how do y'all
Yeah.
close the deals out there in Missouri? What is the paperwork that you need?
It's the same, the basic that you teach us in the course. You have to have the title and make sure the title, it's a clean title, obviously, right? And then you just go to the my mind went blank. The VRM,
Okay.
what is it called?
DMV, you go to the
Yes.
DMV? Uh-huh.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So then, and we just go there and just have it signed, and that's it. I mean, it's a very simple process. Here, you don't really need the bill of sale like
Okay.
other states, like in Texas, that you did need a one, but here you
Right.
don't. So the
Right.
process is so much easier.
Wow.
Hmm.
And how do you go about checking for liens? You go to the DMV and check for liens as well?
Yes, yes, you do, and you have to check to make sure that there's no liens against the property. And again, that clear title tells you everything.
Yeah.
So it's a very easy process to do as well.
Okay. So, Monica, what would you say would be the hardest thing about being in the mobile home investing business? And the second part of the question is, what were you doing before you became a mobile home investor?
Well, I think the hardest thing, like I said, is just to find a contractor or a handyman that knows what they're doing when it comes to repairs, right? Because
Okay.
repairing a mobile home, like I said before, it's different than repairing a regular home. And it should be less stressful and it should be less expensive, obviously. So I think the hardest part is to find a contractor that can help you in case you find a mobile home that needs a lot of repairs, right? But what I have learned is that if you're getting started in the mobile home business, it's easier to find like a nice little I'm sorry, a mobile home that you can fix up yourself if you can, or if you can have like a brother, a cousin, somebody to help you on minor things. Because if you are trying to find a contractor, you literally have to interview as many as you can. And not only interview them, but when you interview them, you have to make sure that they are qualified, that whenever they're saying something that is true, and it's asking them for referrals or references. you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then have them show you pictures of the mobile homes that they have repaired, the before and afters, because otherwise, you'll get in trouble. They won't do a good job for you.
Right. And
And
so,
you asked me,
well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you asked me to, like, what was I doing before this?
Right.
Well, I've been in the financial industry for a long time. So,
Okay.
as a financial strategist, so I've been doing that for about 20 years. But
Okay.
the mobile home business I got interested in it because, like, it's a very easy kind of sell, and it's very easy to negotiate versus, a regular, like, real estate, traditional real estate, right? So it's easier to negotiate and it's easier to sell, and it's like a lot of people are looking for these type of homes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right. Affordable,
Mhm.
affordable housing, wouldn't you say?
Affordable housing, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
Monica, are you licensed now since you've been in the business for a little bit? Are you licensed to buy and sell mobile homes?
I'm not licensed yet. No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. And so would you tell everybody that you don't have to be licensed to do this, especially if you plan on wholesaling?
Yes, no, you don't have to, because I spoke to the manager and he knows a lot about this. Actually, he helped me a lot with a lot of the, like, the details and the mobile home park and all of that stuff. So you don't have to be licensed. Like I said, all you have to do is be honest with people. When you find a mobile home, make sure that it's a mobile home that it's in a better condition than not. Because what I've seen in a lot of mobile homes is that there's a lot of mold in it,
Okay.
right? And so you have to make sure that you take care of the mold, that you know what to do yourself. And now, if not, find somebody that knows how to take care of the mold. Because once you repair it, you don't want to leave it like that to a family, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that could be dangerous. So the way I see it is, whenever you find a mobile home and you're going to repair it, you're going to sell it, do everything like if it's going to be for your own mother, your own brother, your own family member. Because I'm sure that you wouldn't do anything wrong for them, right?
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
I would definitely.
Okay. So, Monica, if you had not sold that to the park manager, would you be willing to take payments for somebody who wasn't the park manager or the park owner?
um I wanted to do that, the owner
Okay.
financing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my second option. Yes, that
Okay.
would be my second option. Because the second option or the third option would have been the outright. But there's a lot of people that are lacking a lot of finances. Like, they have the income per month and they have a good job, but they don't have the down payment per se, right? They don't have the 3,000 or the 4,000. But as long as they have a good job and they have the income to prove that they can make the monthly payment, then I would have done that as well.
Okay. All right. So, Monica, you
Mhm.
have a interesting situation. Like we talked about the investor that
Right.
you dealt with. And I always tell people, like, when you start dealing with investors and all that kind of stuff, it's like kind of being in a bad marriage if you come across the wrong one. And would you say you came across the wrong investor? Because he immediately wanted his money back and he was changing his mind. That
Yes.
relationship just did not work, right?
It didn't work because, at that time, unfortunately, when I moved here to Missouri, like the first couple of months, I got really sick. I ended up with COVID and I got really
Oh,
sick. And I kind of left. I would tell them, hey, you know what? I want to help you out. You need to kind of, take it easy, give me a break, let me get better. I said, number one, I just moved to a new place, right? I'm not
right,
familiar, which I'm learning now. I says, number two, I just got sick and I don't have the energy and the motive to move right now and do the things that I need to do. And third, at that time, it would snow a lot in here. So I'm like, I'm not used to driving in the snow. So I go,
right.
give me a break. Once I get better, then we'll move forward. But he was very pushy and, every day he was just calling me and texting me and I'm like, you know what? This is not going to work. I go, this is not
Mhm.
going to work because you need to learn to trust me. And if you want me to find you properties, you want me to find you this, I'm willing to do so, but I need time. And so
Right.
he was kind of like in a rush to do things. And I don't
Hmm.
like that. So I said, you know what? It's better for you to go your way. I'll go my way. I was trying to help you, to do this business, but I prefer to do it on my own. Like, I don't need your
Okay.
money. I don't need your stress. I don't need that. I mean, I have you, I would tell them about you. I have Kelly. Kelly will help me out. Don't worry about it. And he's like,
Good.
who's Kelly? I'm like, she's my mentor, dude. So yeah, he was like, okay, okay. So after that, a couple of months later, I just left it aside.
Okay.
Yes.
And so,
And
Monica,
then, I
why?
started doing it.
Okay. And so,
Mhm.
Monica, why would an investor from California contact you? Can you explain to everybody why investors from California are contacting you to help you find them mobile homes?
Well, because he told me he had X amount of money, right, aside. He says
Hmm.
he had just sold a big property in California, and he wanted to use that money for something good. So then he
Hmm.
says, I want to get out of California because California is super expensive. So the same thing that
Exactly.
he wanted to do, that he wanted to do in California, he said, you know what, I'd rather do it there. So if I'm able to buy, let's say, one mobile home in California, with that same money, I can buy 4 or 5 there where you
Exactly.
are. And I
Exactly.
said, yeah, that makes sense. And then so when we were talking about that, he says, I have all this money, so I want to use it and I want you to help me. So that was the whole thing.
Right,
That's how
right.
everything started.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I tell people all the time, this really is not going to work in California because it's so expensive. Like you said, you might be able to afford one mobile home there, but I mean that's just going to be one tenant and renting. It's going to be very hard to find a renter, or a park
Yes.
that allows for renting in California. So that means you're going to have your own land, and then that's going to be even in more expense. Okay. So, but Monica, you're here today to present an idea, and I want you to share your idea. I don't think it's anything new, but go ahead and share your idea of what happened where you don't have to deal with an investor anymore.
Well, as a financial strategist, what I'm putting into place for myself and like I'm helping other real estate investors is that pretty much the concept of becoming your own bank, right?
Okay.
Because what I've noticed also this couple of years is that a lot of investors they're always asking for hard money lenders, right? They're always for hard money loans, right? And they're always trying to get equity out of the properties to be able to get the money and buy more properties and more and like that, right? So what I found is that when you become your own banker, you have the capability to grab your own money, borrow your own money, and while you borrow your own money, that money that you bring out, it's income tax free and you can use it for whatever you want. And then at the same time, you are accumulating a higher interest rate in your portfolio. And then if anything happens to you, then that money goes to your beneficiary and it's also income tax free. So a lot of investors are using this and they're becoming smarter. So instead of paying the interest rate to a hard money lender, they're lending themselves and making their own return, their own interest rate. So that's being the smart way, the smart investor. And that's what I'm
Okay.
doing right now with my portfolio as well.
Okay. And so, Monica, what if, the person doesn't have any money? How would somebody start off if they don't have any money?
See, a lot of the people think that you have to have like a lot of investors, they do put $500,000, 250,000 or whatever it is. But this goes for the same person that wants to put $100 or $200 a month. As long as you start with something,
Okay.
because this is not for everybody. Let me tell you, this is not for
Mm.
everybody. This is only for that person that wants to get educated as to how to become their own banker and be diligent about it and responsible and disciplined to do this. Because not
Okay.
everybody is disciplined to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you as an investor, if you have X amount of money or you have equity from a particular property, you put it into this vehicle and you know for sure that no matter what happens, this money is gonna continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. You're never gonna lack money anymore, but you need to know how to do it because there's that many people quote that they know how to use this strategy, but it requires a lot of details and you need to know how to structure it correctly to be able to utilize it the way you want to use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's in essence, it's like a bank account, right? Is that my
Correct.
understanding? It's a bank account,
Well,
and you go
mhm.
ahead.
More than a bank account, it's a vehicle that is going to help you become your own bank. So, if you go and borrow, let's say you want to buy 5 mobile homes, right?
Okay.
Right. And you need $20,000 because they're going to charge you $5,000 per mobile home. So when you go to the bank, if you don't have good credit, if you don't have like a job, a lot of people have a 1099. If you don't have none of that stuff, then they're gonna say, I'm sorry, but you don't qualify for this loan, right? So then
Mm-hmm.
what do you do next? You find somebody to partner up with to do the deals because hey, you bring the money and I'll do the work, right? So it kind
Okay.
of it kind of forces you to be in a bad relationship when like me with the other investor, right? So it
Right.
forces you to kind of not have, like you said, a good marriage. And so you, instead of creating a better relationship, it kind of separates you from building a better relationship with another person. So instead of going through all that hassle, you have that vehicle that is going to guarantee you will never lose your money ever, no matter what. And that money will keep growing and growing and growing. And again, it's not tax deferred, because tax deferred meaning that you procrastinate to pay your taxes in a later date. This is tax free money. It's tax free, you know.
Okay.
So when and so it's better than a bank. It's
Okay.
better than a bank. It's like you are the owner of your bank and you can borrow that money whenever you want and do whatever you want with that money. So it's different than a bank. So much better.
Okay. And
Mhm.
Monica, you were saying to me earlier before we got online here that a lot of investors are doing it this way, and but they're not sharing it with people because I guess they're not sharing it because of why it works so well, or why would they not share this?
They don't want to, I mean, a lot of people don't want to share it, but if you know, there's so many a lot of people like JC Penney, that use this strategy to become wealthy. Walt Disney used this strategy to become very wealthy. A lot of this a lot of well-known basketball players, a lot of famous people, Bill Gates, like a lot of these people use this strategy and they don't
Mhm.
share it with the world. And that's what they become billionaires, and like billionaires because of this concept. They
Mhm.
know that, and the rich people know these secrets and they don't share it with the world because they don't want everybody to know this. Then everybody will be millionaires. Forget it. you
Right.
know so
Right.
so yeah, it is important to get educated, and it is important to talk to someone that knows how to structure it. And it's everybody's different.
Okay.
Everybody has different goals, everybody has different things that they want to accomplish. And then based on that, then you structure that policy as the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But yes.
And then
Mhm.
and then Monica, when you're talking about structuring it, are you talking about how much money you put in there every month? Does it have to be the same, or it's based on you, or what is that what you're talking about when you're talking about structuring it, or am I off?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really depends. Again, some people have they have some equity on the property. For example, the real estate investors, right? They have $50,000 in their bank account, and it's really not making any interest rate on that. Or some people have it on a CD, some people have them on savings, some people have it on a 401k, 403b, whatever, but they're not really generating the kind of interest that they need to generate. So what they do is they can pull out one lump sum. Like, let's say you have 50,000, you move it over to a place where they're gonna give you a better rate of return that will be also tax-free money. Okay.
Mhm.
And then when you do that one lump sum, then you can structure it where you can continue making monthly put monthly payments into that. It could be $500, $1,000 per month. So we structure it differently. But if you don't have any money to move right now, let's say you don't have a 401k, you don't have a 403b, you don't have any pensions, you don't have any savings, but you want to start this, you can start with $100 per month if that's what you want to do. And like I said, it depends on your goals and what you want to achieve. So based on that, then we can move forward and put a plan together.
Okay. All right. And by doing it this way, you're not dealing with a bank that you're gonna have to pay back. Because let's just say you buy a
Exactly.
mobile home with the money that you get from the bank, you have to pay the bank back. and then you're gonna have to be paying lot
So
rent. So that's like two bills you're gonna have. So doing it your way, you will just like own the mobile home flat out. Is that my understanding?
yes, I mean the if you get a mobile home and you have your own lot, right? If it's permissible for you to do that, then that's gonna be your lot and it's gonna be like an asset for you in the future, right? But when it comes to buying the mobile home, you buy the mobile home from yourself and you don't ever have to pay. If you don't want to pay yourself that, let's say $5,000, you don't have to pay yourself. They don't force you. If you get sick, like I did for a while, then
Right.
you don't have to force yourself to say, oh my goodness, I'm sick. How am I going to pay my loan? You don't
Right.
have to. You can pay it whenever you want. Or if you don't want to pay it, you don't have to pay it. With a bank, you do. If you
Right.
borrow those $5,000, even if you get sick, they're still going to be knocking on your door for that money. And if you don't
Right.
pay, they will foreclose on you or they will take that property away from you. So you have all these headaches, and for
Right.
whatever reason you lose your job, you won't have the money to pay. But when you are in control of your own finances, then it
Mhm.
makes a big difference,
Right,
you know?
right. And doing it that way, if you were to get sick, then you don't have to worry about paying it back. You don't have to worry about your credit getting bad because you don't owe anybody. It was your money in the beginning anyway.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And then get this. This is amazing. For me, I'm always blown away with this because every time I look at the numbers, I get more and more excited. And I'm like, I want to tell the whole world that they can do this, right?
Okay.
But uh, when you get, let's say you have $20,000 in that vehicle, right? It's just a
Mm-hmm.
number. And then you say, you know what? I want to buy this mobile home. So I'm going to borrow $5,000 from my own account. So when you borrow, you're supposed to have how much? $15,000 remaining, right? Right.
Okay.
So, so that money, let's say the interest rate is 7%, that $15,000 is actually $20,000. So even though you borrow 5,000, they're still considering like if you had $20,000 there, and
Yeah.
that 7% interest is growing, even though you already borrowed $5,000. Does it make sense?
Right. 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 So
So
wait a minute, Monica, would that be like getting a secured, sort of kind of like a secured loan? You're borrowing your own money.
yeah, you're borrowing your money. So
Mm,
and the process of borrowing your own money is so much easier as well. Because if you have a vehicle like that and you want to borrow your money, okay, because some
mm,
companies will lend you up to 95% of your money. Okay.
okay.
So let's say you have that money and you want to borrow against that money. Okay. All you need to do is say, okay, you know what, Monica, I need $5,000 and I need it as soon as possible. All you need to do is just fill up a form, send it to you, you sign it, and then the company sends you a check right away. When you do that through a bank, again, they have to check your credit, they have to check your,
Right.
income tax returns. They gotta wait to see whether it makes sense or not to lend you the money, and then it takes a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month for them to say yes. So it's a hassle. So that's two different ways of borrowing money,
Right, right,
you know.
right. And if you go through a bank, Monica, we are already know that these mobile homes sometimes they so cheap, they're not going to be there. They're not going to be there no month from now. And the seller is probably not going to want to hear that you got to go to the bank to get a loan for any of these properties. Would you say that's correct?
That is correct. And another thing is because they don't, I know that because I asked several banks in the area, what they don't want, they won't use it as collateral because they said that they've had people that they've loaned some money to in the past and they stole the mobile home. Like they just go to another
Wow.
state with the mobile home. I was shocked
Wow.
when they told me that, right? So they don't find it as a security for you to prepay them. So they will not lend you the money on that either, you know?
Wow. Wow. And it's very hard to get a loan for a used mobile home. We all know that, especially a mobile home that's inside of a park. It's very hard.
Well, one bank did mention that the only way that they could lend, but very maybe 50% of the loan to value on the property is if
Mm,
it's considered real estate, which means that it has to be on concrete and it has
right.
to have, the blocks around like a cement or whatever, and it has to be like that. Otherwise, they will not even consider it. So, anyone, even in some banks normally let you like 70% loan to value, 80%. But with this kind of mobile homes, they will do 50% or less.
Okay,
So
okay.
that
So
would be a challenge.
the mobile home has to be on its own land and fixated to the ground in order for all
Yes.
that to happen. Okay.
Yes.
So Monica, I already know
Mhm.
the answer, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask you anyway. Where do you see
Mhm.
yourself 5 years from now in the mobile home business? What would be your answer to that?
You know what? Now that that I'm working the smart way,
Okay.
like I really want to grow now that I know how to buy the smart way with mobile homes and I've gotten to know a lot of the area and everything. I want to grow not only to buy mobile homes here but in different states because my
Okay.
money is going to be my money and I can borrow it and buy as many mobile homes as I want in different areas. So,
Right.
you know, with this experience and of course having you as my coach, you can help me out when I start buying in other areas. So I look forward
Okay.
to growing this and you know what, the most important thing that I found also
What's that? What's
is
that?
that a lot of yeah, a lot of people are moving from other states, right? They're moving from California because of what's happening, right, with the economy and all that stuff. They're moving from Vegas, they're moving from Florida, they're moving from different places. And so talking to a lot of people, what I found
Hmm.
is that they want to buy a mobile home to be here for like I did pretty much for like a year and a half, 2 years while they build their home or they find a house where they're going to live forever. So
Right.
mobile homes are becoming very popular here in the area for those people because I had a bad experience. When I moved here, I had to live in hotels for like a month and a half or 2 months, and it was expensive and it was
Right.
hard.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then now people are realizing, you know what, instead of renting an apartment or instead of renting, a hotel, let's buy a mobile home. And so some of those people, when I talk to them, they would say, we'll live in there until we find a place to relocate to live. And then we'll move the mobile home with us, and then our family members can live there. So those are the
Right.
kind of conversations that I'm having with a lot of people. So
Right.
mhm,
Especially if they find a mobile home park that allows for renting, they can keep that mobile home, don't have to move it, and just rent that out and have money coming in where it can help them at their new destination. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense instead of staying in a hotel and all that good stuff. That makes a lot of sense. So Monica,
yes,
do you have any words of wisdom for somebody who's trying to get into the mobile home business?
I do. Get Kelly's
Mhm.
course. Talk to
I love
Kelly.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Right, that is true because you know why? Because when you don't have someone that has gone through that, experience and that would guide you through the process and that journey, it's really difficult to do it on your own. Even though literally the mobile home business is not hard,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But even it's not hard, but you need to know how to what the process are, or to
Right.
buying, to selling, to even like, knowing that it's not the same, like I said before, repairing a regular house versus repairing a mobile home. So you need
Mhm.
guidance. People want to, oh, I can do it on my own, I can do it on my own. Maybe you can, but remember that if you do it on your own, whatever it was something that was gonna take you 1 year, you know,
Right.
it's gonna take you 3 months, for example, when you have somebody to guide you through the process, it makes your life so much easier. And another thing is like you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Like for me, I'm a believer, right? I'm a believer in Christ Jesus. So my faith is so important to me. Having the
Okay.
support and the love of my family was very important for this as well. And obviously
Okay.
having a mentor like you, because remember when I would call you, hey, I'm stuck
Are
with
you?
this. What do I do?
Yeah.
What do I
Yeah.
say?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I'm like one phone call away. And otherwise I would be like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna freak out, what am I supposed to say? So having that mentor really helps.
Right. 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 And you know what, Monica? We're not gonna say any names, but the other course that you took, that mentor was actually presenting you with deals. It was like some crappy deals. And I'm like, well, Monica, if it's so great, why is he
Yeah.
giving it to you? And he already had it set up where he already had the handyman and everything and all this kind of stuff. And he wouldn't even answer your phone call. And I think that's just terrible. And I told you, I said, Monica, you won't have that problem with me. You won't have that
Yes.
problem with me. So I'm so glad that
Yes.
you came over and joined Hills Deals and Wheels. So Monica, how can people contact you so they can talk more into detail about how they could be their own bank? And I also, Monica, whenever you feel like we could make another video so you can elaborate even more about
Yeah,
how they could just be their own banks, we can go ahead and make another video regarding that. How does somebody contact
yeah.
you if they're interested in this?
Well, they can go. You can call me. I
Okay.
can give you my number. You can call that
Okay.
314 804 0081.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
call me there, and once they talk to me or whatever, I'll give them all the information that they need. And again, this is not like they're gonna call me and I'm gonna work with them right away, because I'm very particular to the people that I work with, because again, I want them to be disciplined and to understand that this is like a long-term, you know, thing that they have to be committed to, because
Okay.
that's the way they're going to become literally millionaires. If they want to be millionaires, they can. Before, that word used to scare me. I'm like, oh my
Mm.
goodness, how can you say you're going to be a millionaire? There's no way. I will have to work,
Uh-huh.
really hard and for 40 years to be able to make even $1 million. But when you learn some concepts like that, you learn that it's not as hard as you think it is to make $1 million.
Okay.
Seriously.
All right. All
I'm
right.
very impressed. I'm very shocked with these concepts, and I just want to share with whoever want to receive that education.
Okay. All right, guys. So there you have it. There you have it. And Monica, thank
Yep.
you so much for being on here, guys. This was Monica Elda Elijah, and she is my student from Hills Deals Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course. Monica, go ahead and give them your phone number. Do you have an email? Wait a minute, Monica, before you give the phone number and the email again, is there a fee? Is any fees that they have to pay or anything like that? Is there a fee that comes along?
There is no fees. The only thing that when I talk to my clients, I always tell them, make sure that, because I know your time is valuable, so is my time. So as long as you're serious about getting educated, because we don't just sell you something, we educate you in the process. We tell you what's going to happen. We tell you step one, step two, all the way to step 10, and this is what you need to do. So we give you homework in the way. So make sure that you are prepared and that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. So there's no fees. All I ask is for them to give me their time and to be, on time, and to answer the calls, and to answer some questions that we need to ask to make sure that we're putting them in the right vehicle. That's all we ask.
Gotcha. All right, share that number
Mhm.
again and that email address.
Yes, it's 314-801. I'm sorry, 804-0081. And then the email is ABBA, like ABBA Financial Group at gmail.com. So it's ABBA Financial Group at gmail.com.
Okay. There y'all have it. A lot of y'all been saying, well, I don't know where I'm gonna get money from, or I got bad
Yeah.
credit. And Monica just explained it. She just explained it. And hopefully, Monica, very soon we'll be making another video on how you go about doing this in great detail. But y'all have the
Yeah.
information. And thank you, Monica, so much for being on here. It's
You're
been a
welcome.
pleasure.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. I'm excited that you invited me, Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you.